A while back, I gave a tour of my 4Runner camping setup, and a lot has changed since then. So I owe it to you all to show you what's been changed since then. And I've been waiting to do an update because the setup's been in flux for a while. And I think finally, at least this version of it is done enough to show you what it's like. Now, way back in the early days, I had built a platform and I had a camp kitchen and I had a 12-volt. Well, first I had a regular cooler and then I had a 12-volt fridge. I soon found that the camp kitchen thing, it was a great idea for having everything there to grab and go as a concept. It was great. What I found as I used it is what I bring to cook changes a lot. The methods change, the menu changes. All in one solution was not it for me. So I kept getting smaller and smaller little kitchen setups that I could modify every trip. And that's worked out well for me. And also, they don't take up very much space, which is at a premium in the 4Runner. So the first big change was the refrigeration setup, because the issue I have, all right, it's two issues I have with typical 12-volt coolers, and that is one, they take up a lot of floor space, like 1/4 of my cargo area. Two, it's hard to see what's inside with a lid, especially if you are a short person. And if you have a tall vehicle, I don't really have a lift or anything like that, but if you have a lifted vehicle and you're a short person, you cannot see what's in your fridge unless you get one of those fancy pull-out racks that you tip down. And then semi-related, you have to look at those from outside the vehicle. Like, you have to access your fridge from the cargo area tailgate. Sometimes I am shut in my vehicle and I want to be able to look at my fridge without opening the back. So I really wanted a drawer fridge. I felt like that solved all the problems, and I've been happy with it. It does have some compromises, and that is it holds a little less, I think, but plenty for me for, one person for a weekend. Also, it's single zone, so no ice cream, no ice. I have found ways to bring ice, and I can orient it two different ways. This is my typical orientation because if I'm sleeping inside, I can open it. Sometimes I'll orient it with the drawer facing this way, which frees up a little more space here, but eats up more space here. And then when I'm driving, I just plug it in the 12-volt port there in the back of the 4Runner. I can actually pull this a little more to the right. The motor sort of booty fits in that space there. All right, so with the drawer fridge, that changes the bedding situation. I think for the better, because now you have something you could put a bed on top of. So that saves floor space. And I tried a few different, experiments before settling on a cot. And this is the cot I got. It's Magachion. Unfortunately, they don't sell it anymore on Amazon. They do sell one that's maybe 3 inches longer. I'm not 100% positive it'll fit, but I think it would. I took the leg off this end and the head end. And this end, I did add sort of this block to level it out. And also that gives me space underneath where I put my window covers. I kept the center leg. And really, it can fit with all 3 legs on, but I had the fridge there. And I wanted a little more flexibility with front to back placement. So I took them off. And this is perfect height. Now people ask, why don't you take these out? Well, the fact is sometimes I carry passengers. So I like to have the option of having a back seat. I don't camp 355 days a year or so. So I need to be prepared for not camping. And the cot is secured here with the seat belt thing here. And then down at the bottom, grab a light, it's strapped to the tie down loop there. So it ain't going nowhere. Also here to this loop at the seat base. So it's very secure. Now the compromise of putting it on top is reduced headspace. And I'm okay with that. Like, I mean, my old platform, it was only about 6 inches tall. And so I had maybe 4 inches of storage space underneath, but I could sit up in bed. However, with this arrangement, you can't sit in bed. You can kind of slouch. It's fine. But I have found now that I have all this floor space. I just sit on the floor. If I want to sit up, just sit on the floor. And then get in bed when you're ready to lie down. These panels, still use the heck out of them. Mostly this one for the drop leaf table. But it's also a freestanding table because I got legs here. It can also be used as a tailgate table. In my old setup, I had Z brackets on the end of the platform. For the new setup, I replaced them with magnets. I definitely have to deploy a couple of legs for additional support, but it's fine for light use. Cool. This one I use less. I mostly just use it for brewing coffee in the morning. It's got my little drop-down shelf here. I used it more when I had my bed on the other side. And this was like the coffee station and cooking station and everything. But it still holds stuff. I got my emergency spices in here. I think this is all popcorn making stuff. You know, everybody needs camping popcorn. Still love it. In here, I usually keep like magnetic hooks, clips, carabiners, zip ties, you know, things for attaching other things. This is another, like kind of like a ratchet strap, but like a real simple one. Always helps to have a knife on deck. And this one I think is all like charging cords. I've got my fake Leatherman in there, you know, emergency tahine, spray, pepper spray, fire extinguisher, like a real basic fire extinguisher for small fires. Like if you had a camp stove and it flared up, that would be sufficient. It's not for putting out an engine fire. These cargo loops were an early upgrade. They were like the coat hooks, which were totally useless. So I mostly just clamp lanterns on them, but you could secure a strap from end to end to tie gear on. The only annoying part is that they do kind of, it makes some noise when you're off-road. The window covers I should mention are, I can't really get them out of here, but they are the WeatherTech ones. And they've done pretty well. They kind of flop out of some of the windows, but for the most part, they are pretty secure. So my power bank is an EcoFlow River Pro, first generation. It's served me well. I like the big display, very clear. Yeah, like I said, I've had it forever. I got it at Costco. They had it at a decent price. The only problem it's had is that something is broken now where it won't charge from a wall outlet. Like it'll only charge through DC power or through DC power. So you can't charge it with AC power. So I typically just charge it while I'm driving. So I'll use this port and I can charge it while I'm driving or through solar, but it's more of a pain to bust out the solar panels. But this one, no worky no more. So I have all of this space underneath and actually back there too. I have nothing there. So that's kind of nice. Those crates, I could actually fit 6 of those if I wanted to. I've got my little beige crate fits under there. Yeah, plenty of storage room. I use this little Velcro basket on the bottom side of the seat. I've got the awning accessories there now. This space is perfect for tarp poles. Back here, I keep all my screens. I've got screens for all of the side windows, passenger windows, and one for the hatch window from Luno, I think. And then that one is for the moonroof. This little thing I got from Temu. It's been fantastic. I put my water in here at night, my phone, my wallet, hang my keys. It's been super. Lighting, those lights were from my roof box that was stolen. They took them out and left them on my roof. So I guess thank you, thieves. I use them more often than that LED strip. Move them around. I have them on motion sensor. So every time I come in here, reach in here to get something, they turn on. Super handy. I have some recovery gear there. I would normally keep it in my roof box, but on this trip I had to stop in the city. So again, I do not trust people. So I did not put anything in the roof box. And so this is my replacement one. I did it exactly like I did the last one, except I did not put those lights in. I have another plan for those. I got these little stick-on button lights. I'm going to put a couple of those in there, and then I think I could probably find some spaces around the cargo area too to put these. I just haven't gotten around to putting them on yet. Also, emergency stuff. That is a battery jumper. Always have to make sure to keep that guy charged. People ask me all the time, how do you keep your hatch open without draining your battery? And I turn these off. All of the 4Runner ones have switches. Turn them off. Also, these I upgraded these lights, so they're super bright. It was an easy upgrade, inexpensive. I think it was $16 for those panels. So with all your lights switched off, the only light you'll get is this dash warning that you have an open door. And that takes like very little draw on your battery. So I have yet to have a battery drain down because of that. Also, what could drain your battery is I installed the switch panel and I have it wired hot so that I can turn on the lights without the ignition on. And I have a very specific reason for that. So let's say middle of the night, I hear some scrabbling around over on the driver's side. I can turn it on and look out the window and see what's happening. It does take some agility to climb through the front seats in the middle of the night and hit this button, but there you have it. And then the light bar, only for off-road use, because it's not safe. It's not safe nor kind to use it, or legal to use it on the streets. So that's all I have on here now are the left and right lights and the light bar. I do eventually plan on putting a winch in, and so I'll have a winch light too. The inexpensive awning has been great, except for me apparently putting it on the wrong side for most campgrounds, unless I am back in. I did open it after my first trip, and it was in pretty good condition. It had some rust spots from the chrome rings, and when that one strap broke, it actually broke the buckle, so I had to kind of modify it with a little carabiner. And I was able to get it to reach the roof rack instead of down there by adding like a really large carabiner. But honestly, those straps should be like an extra 2 feet longer to really reach the roof rack. This is Gunther's bed. I've had it forever. Top paw. I got it at PetSmart. It's starting to fall apart. It kind of swings when we drive. So I usually stack this area with my clothing, like my suitcase, his backpack. This is my backpack. I usually put camera stuff in there. And this is his backpack. He actually has two. This is his more fully functioning one. I bring it and I put his clothes and his cleaning supplies in here. He's got like paw wash and uh, beard wash and a little cloth and everything. And then I usually take it if we're going on a hike. If he gets tired or hurt or whatever, if he's scared, I can just put him in the backpack. Super basic information. This is a 2018 Toyota 4Runner. It is off-road, and then premium is the trim package. I did not lift it or upgrade it in any sort of way. It may have a lift on it from the previous owner, but I looked, all I saw was the stock Toyota suspension stuff. I run the BFG KO2s. The rock sliders are Smitty built. They were pretty inexpensive. They were easy to install. They're good enough for me. I'm not a diehard rock crawler or anything like that. For me, they're mostly a step. So between those, and then I have Prinsu roof rack, and I added the hand holds. I don't need no Widow Wada for the most part. I think I forgot to mention that the light bar is a, God, what is it called? Blanking on the brand name of the rock. It's a brand that people make fun of. Rough Country. It's Rough Country light. I have no shame. I like my Rough Country light. Also, this 4Runner has a little over 58,000 miles on it. I did buy it used. Another thing you'll probably notice is that the windows have a pretty dark tint. I don't know what the percentage is. They were already tinted when I bought it. Very common in Arizona to have dark tinted windows. It's great for added privacy. Okay, let's talk bathroom stuff. So I often get asked, what is your bathroom situation? And it is that I usually camp somewhere where there's a bathroom, and I prefer to go to a real bathroom. But sometimes it's cold, or it's wet, or it's dark, or it's scary, or I'm lazy, and you got to go when you got to go. So in the 4Runner, I keep this thing, which looks like a laundry soap jug. It's good for if you're a thick gal, like moi, and it's got a soft top to it. It's called a Loona, Loona, like the loo, as the Brits call it. And then I keep a cloth that you can wash at home. When I get home, spray this with a little bleach water, rinse it out, spray it with bleach water, let it air dry, and good to go. Pro tip, if you're new to this thing, the key to this in a low ceiling vehicle is a kneel and not a squat. Trust me on that. Okay. I haven't had a spill yet.